Dear oil and gas students, the topic of today's discussion is an innovative approach to one of the most persistent challenges in the oil and gas industry: efficient extraction from low permeability reservoirs. These reservoirs contain vast amounts of hydrocarbons, but their complex pore structures and low fluid mobility makes it difficult for conventional recovery methods to perform effectively. As global energy demands rise, the need for enhanced oil recovery techniques that maximize the output of existing fields become ever more critical. In response to this challenge, we explored the injection of dissolved salts as a novel enhanced oil recovery method. This technique leverages the dual benefits of osmotic pressure and wettability alteration to enhance fluid displacement and improve recovery rates. By modifying the psychochemical properties of the reservoir rock and fluids, dissolved salts can unlock reserves that were previously considered uneconomical. Importantly, this approach is particularly effective in the formations where the other enhanced oil recovery methods, such as water fluiding or gas injection, fall short. During this session, we will delve into the core scientific mechanisms that underlie this method, explore advanced modeling approaches, review experimental data, and discuss its practical applications in real-world reservoirs. The ultimate goal is to present a comprehensive framework for understanding and implementing this promising enhanced oil recovery strategy. With this introduction, I am pleased to pass the floor to our next speaker, who will explain the key mechanisms driving the effectiveness of dissolved salt injection.
Mechanisms of action. The injection of dissolved salts enhances oil recovery through two primary mechanisms. The first one is osmotic pressure, and the next one is wettability alteration. These mechanisms work together to displace oil that would otherwise remain trapped in the rock matrix, particularly in low permeability formations. Osmotic pressure is generated when there is a salinity contrast between the injected fluid and the native formation water. This creates a flow of water from fractures into the rock pores, driven by the natural tendency to equalize salinity levels. As water enters the pores, it pushes the trapped oil toward production wells. This process is especially beneficial in reservoirs with high membrane efficiency, where the salinity gradient remains stable over time, ensuring sustained recovery. The second mechanism is wettability alteration. It's equally crucial. When salts interact with the mineral surfaces of the reservoir rock, they reduce the rock's affinity for oil, effectively making it more water wet. This change in wettability improves the efficiency of water flow through the reservoir, allowing it to displace residual oil more efficiently. In low permeability formations, where oil is often tightly bound to the rock surface, this alternation can make a significant difference in recovery efficiency. Together, these mechanisms create a powerful tool for addressing the limitations of conventional recovery methods. To better understand the full potential of this approach, detailed modeling is required, which our next speaker will now discuss.
Modeling the effects of dissolved salt injection is a critical step in understanding and optimizing its impact at various scales, from pore-level interactions to reservoir-wide dynamics. In its study, we utilized advanced dual porosity and dual permeability models, which account for the distinct behavior of fractures and the surrounding matrix. These models were further enhanced by incorporating parameters such as capillary pressure, osmotic gradients, and permeability changes due to clay swelling. At this pore scale, we examined the intersecate interactions between the injected brine and the rock's mineral surfaces. This included the study of wettability changes, clay swelling, and the redistribution of fluids within the pore network. This insight helped us understand how dissolved salts alter the fundamental properties of the rock fluid systems. At the reservoir scale, we modeled the effects of gradient fracture geometrics, including traditional and modified designs, on oil recovery. Simulations showed that modified fracture patterns, such as the zipper configuration, significantly enhance the recovery by increasing the contact area between the injected fluid and the reservoir rock. Additionally, the models allowed us to predict the long-term behavior of the system, including the gradual reduction in permeability in clay ridge formations. These simulations provide valuable insight into the optimal injection parameters and fracture designs for maximizing recovery. With these theoretical foundations in place, we conducted laboratory experiments to validate our findings, as the next speaker will explain.
To validate the theoretical models and better understand the practical impacts of dissolved salt injection, we conducted a series of laboratory experiments on core samples. These samples were carefully selected to represent a range of reservoir conditions, including variations in mineral composition and clay content. The experiments involved injecting brine solution with low 100 ppm, medium 30,000 ppm, and high 60,000 ppm. Salinity levels into the core samples. The results were revealing low salinity solutions improved oil recovery by reducing clay swelling and enhancing the wettability of the rock. This allowed water to penetrate more deeply into the pore space and displace residual oil more effectively. Medium salinity solutions provide moderate benefits, balancing improved wettability with minimal swelling effects. High salinity solutions, however, caused excessive swelling of clay minerals, leading to a significant reduction in permeability and consequently a decline in recovery efficiency. These findings highlight the importance of optimizing salinity levels to match the specific characteristics of each reservoir. Additionally, the experimental data provide critical input for reviewing our simulation models and developing field-scale recommendations. With these results in mind, let's now explore how they translate into real field scanners through numerical simulations.
Real field simulations to evaluate the practical potential of dissolved salt injection, we performed numerical simulations using data from real-world reservoirs. These simulations were critical for understanding the field-scale implications of this technique and for identifying optimal strategies for implementation. Two primary hydraulic fracture configurations were analyzed: traditional fracture designs and modified zipper patterns. The traditional approach, characterized by parallel fractures, showed moderate improvements in recovery due to increased reservoir contact. However, the modified zipper pattern, which incorporates staggered the intervaled fractures, outperformed the traditional design, leading to a 20% increase in oil recovery. This improvement was attributed to enhanced contact between the injected brine and the reservoir rock, as well as the delayed water breakthrough observed in the simulations. Also, the simulations also highlighted potential high risks, and particularly in reservoirs with high clay content. While osmotic pressure effectively caused by high salinity levels led to permeability reduction in some regions of the reservoir. These findings underscore the importance of balancing the salinity of injected brines to maximize oil displacement while minimizing the risks associated with clay swelling. Overall, the real field simulations demonstrated the significant potential of dissolved salt injection as an EOR method, provided that key parameters such as salinity and fracture geometry are carefully optimized. To understand the long-term viability of this technique, the next speaker will discuss the extended impact on oil recovery efficiency.
Beyond immediate recovery benefits, injection of dissolved salts has notable long-term impacts on reservoir performance. These effects are particularly pronounced in reservoirs with high membrane efficiency, where osmotic pressure continues to drive water into the rock matrix over extended periods. The sustained water movement helps to mobilize residual oil and to maintain recovery efficiency long after initial injection phases. However, there are challenges associated with prolonged exposure to high salinity fluids, particularly in clay-rich formations. Over time, excessive swelling of clay minerals can lead to a gradual reduction in matrix permeability, which limits fluid flow and offsets some of their initial recovery gains. This issue highlights the need for continuous monitoring of reservoir conditions and the adjustment of injection parameters to mitigate potential downsides. Another long-term consideration is the potential alteration of the reservoir's chemical environment. Change in ion concentration can impact the stability in certain minerals, leading to scaling or other forms of damage. To address these risks, operators may consider using chemical inhibitors to control swelling and scaling effects. The long-term impacts of this technique, while promising, require careful management to ensure sustained recovery efficiency. The next speaker will provide practical recommendations for field implementation based on these insights.
Practical application of dissolved salts injection offers significant opportunities for improving recovery in low permeability reservoirs, such as the Eagle Ford and Bacon formations. However, successful implementations requires a tailored approach that considers the unique characteristics of each reservoir. Salinity optimization is a critical factor. Injecting low salinity brines has been shown to minimize clay swelling and improve wettability, while medium salinity levels can provide a balance between displacement efficiency and operation risk. High salinity solutions, although effective in some scenarios, must be used cautiously in clay-rich formations to avoid permeability reduction. Another key recommendation is the adoption of modified fracture designs, such as the zipper pattern, which increases the surface area of reservoir contact and delay water breakthrough. This approach has been shown to enhance recovery by up to 20% in simulations and is particularly effective in formations with complex pore structures. To further mitigate risks, the use of chemical inhibitors is strongly recommended. These additives can control swelling and scaling effective, ensuring that permeability is maintained over the long term. Additionally, continuous monitoring of reservoir conditions and regular adjustment of injections parameters are essential to adapting to changes in the reservoir environment. With these strategies in place, operators can maximize the benefits of dissolved salt injection while minimizing potential downsides. To summarize the key points and conclude the session, I will now pass the floor to our final speaker.
In conclusion, the injection of dissolved salts represents a significant advancement in enhanced oil recovery, particularly for low permeability reservoirs. This method capitalizes on two primary mechanisms: osmotic pressure and wettability alteration, to enhance fluid displacement and improve recovery efficiency. These mechanisms are especially impactful in formations where conventional recovery methods often fail. Our study underscores the importance of salinity optimization to balance recovery gains with mitigation of risks such as clay swelling and permeability reduction. The combination of optimized salinity levels with modified fracture designs such as zipper patterns has been shown to significantly enhance recovery rates while reducing operational risks. Furthermore, the use of chemical inhibitors and the implementation of continuous monitoring strategies ensure the long-term viability of this technique. These measures allow operators to adapt injection parameters dynamically, maintaining efficiency and minimizing potential damage to reservoir. Looking ahead, future research should focus on the exploring effects of dissolved salts with chemical additives and other methods such as surfactants or nanoparticles to further enhance recovery efficiently. This integrated approach holds the potential to unlock new reservoirs and improve the economics of unconventional reservoirs. Thank you for all your attention and participation in today's lesson. We look forward to your questions and productive discussion on this exciting topic.